Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis, updated commodities, work our way through the dollar yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that this guy follows. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it together here. If you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into these topics, formulate all of these different sectors, topics, ratios, kick it through my head, and then look for potential investment opportunities based off what I see in the macro, based off what I see in the ratios, and based off what I see, I'll say out the side doors with other sectors. If that interests you, we do have a coupon code that is still going on. It will end soon. Special SPECIAL is the coupon code. 50% off the first month only. And we've got a larger discount on the yearly membership if anyone wants to sign up for that. Let's dive in. Let's take a look, see what's going on. The dollar still looking strong in my opinion. This was the candlestick where the potential reversal could come from or the consolidation. We are getting a consolidation out of it. Those generally move higher out of these patterns as you came from the bottom up, consolidated, and then worked their way on up. So dollar's still looking pretty strong. The 2-year yield is diving off a cliff a little bit, down 1.85%. Now, is this the beginning of a rollover where we could end up moving towards this box with time? Could be. It very well could be. What we're going to see, or what you are looking for, is follow through after this. Follow through. So we had a pretty good setup here where this was going to break higher, but we sold off today, and it's a pretty big selling pressure day. Makes me think that the Federal Reserve is in here. Just by looking at the chart, how this was set up, and then the move that transpired. The 10 years got the same exact movement in it, and so does the 30 year, all across the board. And there was not a ton of, we'll say, previous buying, selling pressure equalization. It just kind of came out of nowhere and it hit all across the curve. Plunge protection team is in effect. So we could see yields pull on back. I know Trump has talked about lower yields. Lower yields is going to prop up the stock market, which they need for tax revenue. And it's going to transfer the pressure in the yields eventually to the dollar, if that were to occur. So if we get follow through, we could easily see this pull on back, and then I think we'll see the dollar work its way around and move on down. TYX TNX ratio. So we were pulling back on these yields where the yield curve uninverted to some degree. So this was TYX TNX ratio. Now here's the thing that gets me a little bit funky here of why I think the Fed is in here. When this goes up and yields fall like they do, generally gold goes up. Goes up. And sometimes pretty big. We didn't see that today. So a little weird. Bond prices up 0.8%. This has been getting absolutely slaughtered. There's our upward move today in bonds. Not a big reversal candlestick or anything. So we'll see if this momentum continues lower. And that's generally when yields go up, not down. The 2 and the 10, the yield curve was up just a teeny bit, but basically flat between the 2 and the 10. So they basically moved together. Gold down $10 an ounce, but if we get continued, I'll say continued yield declines, continued buying pressure in bonds, this will go up. That's generally a tailwind behind gold. And then looking at silver, we've got a selling pressure day down 1.8%. I'm not convinced that this is ready to go lower, at least not yet. But here's our support area. We are above it. We got a little wick at the bottom, not a big one. But if we continue to get buying pressure in the bond market, this will turn and go up. Platinum down about 2%, right on support. So we're right on support. Now, this could break to the downside. It is possible if we get a slowdown in the market. But it's on support, and there is a little bit of a wick at the bottom there. There's the wick coming back up where we could stay at this support level. Palladium down a little bit. The way that I view it is it's coming into this corner here, kind of squeezing into this corner. We'll see if we pop in the upward direction. It is a falling wedge. It's not a real nice looking wedge. Sometimes these wedges like this, they kind of can go in either direction. The bigger ones that are more structured is what I'll call it. So they're a little bit longer and drawn out. Those generally break upward. GDX down 1.4%. We're still pulling back. We did get some buying pressure towards the end of the day, getting the wicks at the bottom. GDXJ, same thing. There's your projected move down to 40. And SILJ, that paid a big dividend today. So that did move a little bit lower because of that dividend. XE to go ratio, we're still tracking lower in the short term. And we're right on top of all that support. We'll see if it holds. Crude oil up 0.74%. We are at resistance or the end of it. So this is kind of resistance support coming back through here. Bounced, resistance. There's a couple things through here. We're right at that spot. So we'll see if we can break through it. We are at incredibly cheap prices for crude oil. We've got low inventories. It makes me think we want to break higher, but we haven't done that yet. So we'll see what occurs. TTF gas up 0.44%, or 0.41%, looking good. Natural gas in America getting jiggy with it, up 15% in a single day. And that's broken out of this kind of funk down here to the upside. We do have some resistance coming through here of the big boy resistance area that we did tap today. So the green line going across here, somewhere in that general area, we are tapping our head on it. XOP, yeah, you know me, we're up 1.6%. I'd like to see stronger closings on these candlesticks, guys. We've got momentum coming down, selling pressure move. This isn't a ton of buying pressure yet. I'm not convinced, but crude oil doesn't look bad. So we'll see what happens over here on what occurs. We're also underneath some resistance there, which is right through here. So we want to break through that resistance and get back above it. We're still in kind of a bearish formation pattern at this current time. OIH up 1% roughly. Momentum is still down and we still don't have a big reversal candlestick or bottom yet. It doesn't mean you're going to get one either. I mean, sometimes they just kind of fumble on up. Newcastle coal futures pulling back just a teeny bit. We've been pulling on back here and we are above support, which is this guy down here at 105. The Sprott Physical Uranium Trust still in its pattern. It doesn't look bad. It looks like it wants to go higher here. We've got a bullish engulfing here with the little bloody nose today. So I think it still looks good. And there's the big flag pattern waving in the wind. Uranium futures pricing up 0.86%. And sometimes you get these false breakdowns and then a slingshot to the upside. A lot of people say, oh, it broke out of the pattern to the downside. Hey, time out. Like, you got to calm down, guys. Like, we got support for days underneath us. And we could pull back to maybe down here at 63, 64 bucks. And that's where I would be looking in that general area. But this doesn't have to pull all the way back. We could turn whenever it wants to turn. So we'll continue to watch it here. URA down 4.5%. Getting a little kick to the nuts here, right on support. There it is. URNM getting jiggy with it to the downside, about 2% down. We had a nice little bullish engulfing going on yesterday. What occurred today? Maybe it's the NASDAQ selling off, which I think it did. Yeah, it did. Maybe it's just tracking the NASDAQ more than what people think. And then URNJ selling off 2.27. I'd like to get down here, guys. I'd like to buy some. Really do. Copper right at support. It's still there. We're getting a little bit of selling pressure today, but we're still at support. I don't see the big green candlesticks anywhere. Where are you guys? Where are the buyers here? Looking kind of bearish from this point right before that, if I can draw it correctly. That point forward, looking a little bit more bearish. I don't see the big green boys coming out yet. COPX also selling off 2.8%, and we're still above a lot of this support back here. Iron ore down 2.5%, right on support. Well, at least this guy that I drew in there. It does look like we're getting a little bit of selling pressure here, and we could head a little bit lower. Again, I got to see follow through in this. I got to see follow through. Aluminum still in its channel, not going anywhere. Nickel up slightly, but still looking kind of weak in the shorter term here. Big reds with small greens. Still some selling pressure left in this thing. Mo down 1%. We are back within the pattern. We jumped back in it. Now, this is still a bullish formation, in my opinion. Some people will say, "Oh, well, it's been negated by the selling pressure." No, not necessarily. We've got a falling wedge, a break to the upside, and sometimes these things dibble dabble all around. We also have the tax loss selling going on potentially here because this is down from 2024 slightly. Now it's down a little bit more. Emerging markets, we had a flat dollar with weaker yields, and this is down slightly, but it's holding on. It's waiting for different market conditions in the dollar. KRE down slightly, right on support. Nothing changed there. CAN down slightly, and a lot of these companies in solar, they're garbage. Garbage. Lithium down slightly, about 1%. It's right on support. This support going across there, it's right around that level. REMX down 1.45. This thing just wants to go back to this bottom here, doesn't it? Right at that bottom somewhere in there. Wants to come all the way back, get everybody just totally jacked. Right back to that. But we had a little breakout, and then it came back right to where it basically is. Got support. Baltic Dry Index, momentum still down. Hasn't changed yet. XHB, this doesn't look all that great, guys. We've got a rising wedge here that is broken to the downside. Not the strongest of looking charts, and we could see this come on back. The interest rates, affordability, definitely not helping the home builders. We've got Russell 2000 down 0.75%. And this could be a potential flag pattern that ends up back at support a little bit lower. The S&P 500 down about 1%. This looks like crap. I mean, this here is your breakout. That was gonna roll down. That was gonna roll down, and then somehow stick save, plunge protection team in full effect. Now it looks like crap again. Big selling pressure move, struggling to go higher. Couple of selling pressure days here. We'll see if there's follow through, and the follow through's got to be, one of them monster red candlesticks. NASDAQ also coming under pressure. We had a turnover here. Nice one here. We came up. There's a flag pattern there coming on up, and it is getting tired. I'm looking for a rollover at some point where we come on down. Will we get it? I don't know. We'll see. SMCI down 4%, and that's continuing to trade sideways at this support region. Right there. NVIDIA, again, this looks like it's trying to roll over. We'll see if it actually gets the momentum. Otherwise, it's hanging on. Bitcoin right on support. We'll see what happens here. We're getting a little bit of a squeezy into that, and it could break in either direction. If I were to guess, I think we're going to break higher, but my guess. Ethereum right on support as well. We entered this from the downside with a lot of selling pressure, and we're kind of squeezing up here. So we'll see if we get a move higher or lower. And then MicroStrategy. Now, maybe Bitcoin is going to break lower. MicroStrategy, down 8.19%. This looks like garbage. Garbage. Down, down, down. And then the VIX is up 9%. We are still chilling on top of this big, huge structure that squeezed, broke out, retest. And are we going to launch higher? We could. Very well could. So we'll continue to watch it and see if that actually transpires that way. That's what I've got for today. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. Special is that coupon code. You're special, guys. Special. 50% off first month and then a larger discount on the yearly membership. That's what I've got for today, guys. So we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.